So the next part of the process, we've got our form filled. We've got our declaration complete and edited and revised, and it looks clean and good and concise and it's honest and accurate. Now we've gotten all of the evidence and we've printed out all those different country conditions reports, and we've also found evidence that we can show in favor of our case. So we've got all that evidence. Great. Now, how do we organize it? So what I want to do is I want to show you just a sample, kind of a quick and dirty sample of how I would do a asylum cover letter. Start with the date. If you're going to send it through United States Postal Service certified mail, you can say that, or if you want to write FedEx, you can do that. And then you're going to want to put the address of the applicable service center in this cover letter. What I like to say is I like to say regarding, I have this little thing in bold first, say last name, first name. All right. And then you're going to say application for asylum, withholding of removal, and relief under the Convention Against Torture. And then say, dear USCIS, my name is first name, last name. All right. And I am applying for asylum, withholding of removal, and for relief under the Convention Against Torture. I am eligible for asylum under Section 208 of the Immigration and Nationality Act because I have a well-founded fear of persecution on account of my. And then here you put in whatever it is for you, on account of my race, or on account of my political opinion, or all of them. And whatever it says, you're going to say because ... and you're going to fill in the blank with your own opening sentence. Because I was abused, targeted, threatened, beaten, harmed on account of my political activities. Whatever it is, just one sentence to catch somebody's eye right there in your cover letter. That like, hey, you've done your research. You understand how this law works. You can do this. That's what you want that first paragraph to show. So here, your form I-589, asylum for application, withholding and relief under the Convention Against Torture. I'm going to type out withholding of removal and relief under the Convention Against Torture. 2, right after that, include your complete declaration. 3, include a copy of my passport. Forget of my passport. 4, this depends on your situation. I put copy of my 2 previous expired passports. All right, if you traveled a lot, if you have other passports, then include them. If you don't have any passport, you can still win asylum. You don't have to have this. But if you've got evidence of that, evidence of your identity, who you are, what travel documents you've had, include all that stuff. Number 5, I put other evidence of identity. You might put your birth certificate in here, whatever's relevant for you. All right. Number 6, I put a copy of my current I-94 of your most recent entry. We looked at the I-94 when we were doing the original video. Number 7, I put any other evidence of your immigration history. So maybe a copy of your I-797C notice of action from a green card application that was filed in the past. All right, you might include that. You might, if that case got denied, you might include that. They're going to see it anyway. And so, if you have immigration history from the past, go ahead and include it. Evidence of harm 1, evidence of harm 2, evidence of harm 3, evidence of harm 4, anything else that you might have, evidence of any harm. Some of this evidence might be, it might be a psychological evaluation. It might be medical stuff, photos of injuries. It could be anything. It could be videos linked to this YouTube page. Evidence of your group membership. If you were a member of any group, you're going to want to show evidence of education and employment. Sometimes I separate those 2 things out if they're relevant to the case. Here I say 14, I say evidence of anything else that is relevant to your case. You have personal evidence listed in your cover letter here. And then 15, after all the personal evidence, country conditions, like the objective evidence of what's going on in your country. So there it's like, okay, the U.S. Department of State report on human rights practices with highlighting of what actually matters in your case. Whatever else you have found on RefWorld or Human Rights Watch or Amnesty International, or from the last video, you might have found some other stuff. Anything that's in a different language, make sure it's accompanied by a translation. So you might say here, evidence of harm number 4, with translation, all right? And if there's a translation, you need to have a certificate of translation, all right, which I can show you what that looks like. All right. And then, so all the country conditions stuff, and as much as you have, as much as you can find that is relevant, that is on point, and that matters to your case, include it. And then number 16, I put 2 complete copies of all of the above. And so what that looks like is, after you've done everything, because the instructions require 2 copies of all evidence if you read the instructions. And so what I like to do is, hey, in the cover letter, I like to say, hey, we're including 2 complete copies of everything that we've just mentioned. If you're married, I-589, photo and identity documents and marriage license for the case of my derivative spouse with my spouse's name. If you have children, same thing. Add those to the bottom of your cover letter. So it'll end up being typically a 2-page cover letter because you're going to add some more stuff here. You might have more evidence. You might have less evidence. You might have to add information about a derivative. Whatever you're adding or subtracting, make sure you're comparing it with the actual instructions and do your best. And if you want our office to review it with you, we can do that, and just contact us. We can help you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put that all in a packet, and you're going to put it all in a giant envelope, and you're going to mail it. And before you mail it, make a complete copy for yourself. Okay? Make a complete copy for yourself. Scan it all for yourself. You want to be able to prove every single thing that was in that envelope. You also need to have your 2 passport style photos. You can staple them right there to whatever that page. So you'll want to put them right where it says, hey, put your passport style photo right there. And then you get it in the mail and then you're done. Well, hopefully before doing that, you have a lawyer review the packet. And I hope that you choose to do that. We'll see you on the next video. Now that make sure it's going to the right address, by the way. That's in the instructions also. Make sure that you've got it in the envelope with all the copies and you've read through the instructions and everything's clear and good and you know what you're doing. And so after that, now in the next video, we'll talk about, okay, now once it's in the hands of the government, now what to expect. And we'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Bye.